So welcome to day 2 of our 2020 North American Network of Aging Symposium on the theme of aging, ageism, and COVID-19. I'm Julia Henderson, and I am the NANAS Vice Chair, as well as a postdoctoral fellow in the Department of Communication Studies and with the ACT project at Concordia University in Montreal, which is situated on the unceded Kanien'kehá:ka territory. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the limitations on travel, I'm currently joining you today from my home in what settlers now call Vancouver, British Columbia. So I would like to acknowledge that my home and also the University of British Columbia, where I work part-time, are all situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish people, particularly the Squamish, the Musqueam, and the Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. And I'd also like to acknowledge that many of you are joining us from places near and far across Turtle Island and beyond. And I want to acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands. So thank you so much for joining us today. We had a great first day of our symposium yesterday with over 70 people attending. And we're looking forward to continuing our discussions and our shared learning today. So this has been an unprecedented year. Who would have thought a year ago that a worldwide pandemic would so drastically alter our lives? Who could have imagined that face-to-face meetings and conferences would be so thoroughly curtailed? Who could have predicted the isolation from family, friends, and colleagues, the cessation of travel, the shutdown of schools, interrupted careers at all stages, widespread loss of jobs, and the omnipresent threat to our health and well-being, all brought on by an invisible virus that sometimes feels like it could hardly be real? Who would have imagined that just when ageism was becoming better recognized as a force discriminating against our older citizens and hurting our societies, that an event like the COVID-19 global pandemic would bring about a resurgence in ageism and further divide generations? Not to mention how the pandemic has fanned the flames of other intersections of discrimination, such as sexism, racism, ableism, and homophobia. There are many factors contributing to the current magnification of ageism. Statistically, older citizens are more vulnerable to the devastating effects of COVID-19 and at the highest risk of death. Long-term care facilities are sites of many outbreaks. Generations have been isolated from each other due to lockdown orders. And the public rhetoric of old age has intensified in its negativity. We're also especially affected by circulating stories in the news media that capitalize on imbalances, inequities, and incongruities, and create stories that blanketly either vilify youth or construct older citizens as either dispensable or particularly vulnerable and in need of protection. So the age studies community has responded, first with shock and outrage, and then with efforts to educate and understand and curb the circulating ageist rhetoric. So we've had contributions such as Margaret Morgenroth-Goulet's Dallas Cullen Memorial Lecture with the University of Alberta. And I think Linda will post the link to that in the chat for us. The University of British Columbia's Department of Sociology has collaboratively developed a course on COVID-19 in society. It's now free online and it's available to the public through UBC edX. And the course includes modules by 15 faculty and 7 graduate students. I started taking the course and it's wonderful. It's all little video segments. Linda will post the link for the course registration, and I believe it's open for another week and a half. And all the lectures from the beginning of the course are available. So it's called Social Inequality in Global Pandemics. And there is a module on aging, aged, ageism under COVID-19 with Dr. Anne Martin Matthews, who I'm sure many of you know. It's aimed at an undergraduate audience, but I found it wonderful. So you may enjoy that. Each lecture includes a sociological intro, discussion groups, suggested readings, and quiz questions. So in addition to these other efforts, those of us on the Governing Council of NANAS also felt the need to respond to this pandemic and its relationship to age and aging, and how it continues to expose the many facets of ageism. So we created this symposium, and thank you again, all of you out there, for attending. And also thank you to those of you who submitted to the symposium. We wanted to address topics related to aging, ageism, and the pandemic, such as loneliness and isolation, care and care work, funding and defunding nursing homes, treatment decisions in hospitals, community life, engagement with technology, the specific impacts of ageism, intersectionality, portrayals in the media, and artistic practices. We had a wonderful response and many submissions, all of which we were not able to include just due to timing and the space available in all of our schedules for symposia and things like this. But we are so grateful to those who are presenting and also those who submitted, and everyone who submitted, if they didn't already have a NANAS membership, they are being granted a membership till the end of the year with thanks for their submission. So we had a wonderful day yesterday. We started off with a roundtable on ageism and ableism with Ashton Applewhite and Evelyn Torton-Beck, moderated by Kim Sawchuk. And that was followed by a panel on literature and age activism and its implications in pandemic times with Liz Berry and Corinne Field, moderated by Nevena Martinovich. And we are recording our sessions. So if you missed yesterday, there will be an opportunity later to view the videos that we've recorded. And these will be available through the NANAS website, and we'll circulate that information once we have it all set up. It might take a couple of days, especially because we're going to try to close caption the videos. So just give us a little patience for that. We have more exciting offerings today. At 10:15, coming up soon, we have a panel, our second panel, on examining digital engagements of older persons during the pandemic. Then we'll have a half-hour break from 11:15 to 11:45, during which the link will remain open and you can come and go as you please. Just know that if you have your camera on and are unmuted, you could be heard. I guess that's just the presenters, not the attendees. And then at 11:45, we have our third panel, Strategies for Diffusing Ageism, Analyzing Media Portrayals, followed by some student awards and closing remarks by Dr. Stephen Katz.